Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Continuity camera talk time. All right, there appears to be a lot of Mac people that are freaking clueless. They're still whining about the new cameras that Apple's given us for 1080p, and it's like, they really not that. And I'm like, are you mental or something? Like, I think a lot of things, when I hear these videos. I just don't put them down in text because I'm not a jerk. But I think a lot of things, and many of us do, right? It's kind of like, this one video, the guy scored it like half a point, and I'm like, are you on drugs? Like, can you please share what you're on? Because yeah, this, you're wrong. Okay, like seriously, this thing actually is very useful for us as Mac people, and yes, it is more superior than the built-in 1080p cameras on our Macs. That's a given. What's the megapixel difference, kids? Let's look at that, okay? We have a lot more megapixel depth in 1080p on our phones, and even 4K, than what these webcams have. But you know what? They are still better webcams than what we've had in previous generations of Macs. Even the 720 stuff has, gained footing over time, and now we're into the 1080 territory and the beginning stages of 1080. Yeah, there's a little bit, yeah, but now they're far better. But they are still, even the lowest end 720p cameras that we find in Intel Macs, still far surpass anything that even the Windows PC builders are doing nowadays. I've got a $2,000 freaking gamer laptop beside me that has a 720p pathetic megapixel camera in it that it's not bad if you got enough lighting, but it's not near a Mac. Okay, even my 2013 iMac, it had a 720p camera in it, and it's still far superior to my $2,000 glorious gamer system. My HP laptop beside me here, you guys have seen it enough times on the channel, I'm sure. It's got a 720p camera, which is actually not bad. It's for being what it is and everything else. It's actually not bad. A little bit of extra lighting will help it out a little bit, but it's still no match for any Apple 720p camera in any Apple computer. Okay, and the 1080p's are just far surpassing that even further. And even if there's 1080p cameras in PCs, which yes there are, they definitely still suck too because they're very low megapixel 1080p, right? Our phones are definitely superior over our Macs. We know this, right? Continuity camera gives us some abilities, okay? It does give us a much fuller, richer, more clarity, less noise in the picture, quality picture to record with, right? So I'm using QuickTime right now, and I've only got my two LED strips on, which has a lower deck and an upper deck, so there's 32 feet of that stuff. Not the brightest kid on the block, because if I turn them off, you'll see a slight little difference. Okay, and then we'll turn them back on again. And it does change the lighting a fair bit, but I could do with or without them, right? The only other lights I have on here is my lights that are behind my computer, okay? I'm sitting in front of my computer, obviously, and they're LED lights, and they're the equivalent to about 100 watts a piece, right, of what an incandescent bulb would be. There's three of them pointing across the ceiling. Well, two of them are across, and one of them's kind of down angled a little bit toward that corner over there. And so they really don't do a whole heck of a lot, but better than nothing, because if we turn them off and leave all the other stuff on, this is what we get. And I still have my light on that's on my keyboard there. So I mean, we're still getting some lighting, right? And we're still getting a really good quality picture, but better when you have more lighting because you know what? All cameras are light dependent, but if you don't have enough megapixels to poop with, you're not going to help yourself out. And that's the problem with PCs is they really suck. And a lot of Mac fanatics, like the purists, okay, they don't have experience on PCs because they grew up hating PCs. They were born and bred to Mac, just like I was. I was born and bred into Apple computers right back in 1981, okay? And I became an Apple certified tech in 1990 and 93 PC certified. I turned my back on my father, who hates PCs even to this day. He's like, you gotta be a rocket scientist to run one. No, you don't. Okay, it's really not that bad. It's a little stupid compared to how the Mac OS works, but hey, Macs are made simple. PCs, definitely a lot more complicated, more stuff to learn, yes. But once you learn it, it's really not that bad, you know? And besides, everybody's using Unix Core OS anyways, so what the hell? The difference is the graphical interface. But there is something to be said, though. Macs are still the superior machines on the planet for anything to do with graphic arts design, desktop publishing, yes, your photography, video editing, as well as music. They are the superior machines. But nowadays, Apple Silicon machines absolutely suck for gaming. But they are smoking everything in all the areas that they're good in, which they've always done anyways. But if you go backwards a little bit in time, Macs with Intel processors used to be really good for gaming. I don't know why we're talking about this, but we kind of need to. They were really great for gaming, and we could run Windows OS on there and in 5K Retina displays too. 4K displays on Macs too, right? On the iMacs. We had no problem playing games at even half the specs required. We were still going full bore and no problems, right? But when it comes to video editing, now that's a time cruncher. I did an edit on my 2009 iMac, very basic edit, okay, which most of my stuff is. It took over 2 frigging hours to export the file, okay, through iMovie on that 2009. Now, that's an old version of iMovie that really doesn't have as much poop in it as the new version does for toys and all this stuff. Even RAM requirements are minuscule on those old versions. And the OS is minuscule for what it wants for RAM. You'd think it'd be a great performer. Well, for video games, it's friggin' sick. But for the video editing side, yeah, it's a slow process. The same video file, I can export it in literally 2 minutes on my Mac Mini M1. That's the difference, okay? But the M1s and M2s absolutely suck for gaming now because Apple put all their apples in one basket on one friggin' chip, and they said, this is where the power is. And we even sip power, like 15 watts out of a Mini. Like, come on. I mean, I don't even know what that equates to in an amp out of the wall socket, but not a whole lot. PC, if you can get a PC that is absolutely on par with my Mini, okay, for doing the same stuff with video editing and whatnot, you're going to be chewing up hella wattage, okay? You need a very powerful machine that's going to cost you thousands of dollars to my under $2,000 with the extended 3-year warranty Mac Mini M1. And it might keep up to it, but you're going to have to spend an awful lot of money, and you're still not going to get the same output quality on the PC. It's just not going to happen. Even the screen, the color gambits and everything are not even going to be showing the same on the same screens. Okay, I mean, it's just not going to be there, okay, on the PC. So you're going to have to spend even more money now, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, you're going to have to do some really serious cookie stuff here. So when people start whining about these built-in cameras, all I'm thinking is I kind of do agree a little bit with the one guy that it's kind of pointless to use continuity camera on any laptop from Apple or even on an iMac, or if you have the new Apple Cinema display with a camera in it, it's pointless to use continuity camera for doing FaceTime and stuff. Those cameras are very, very, very nice. They give a fantastic picture. And when you are online with somebody who's on a PC on the other end, or maybe they're on a Mac but they're using a separate webcam, every webcam on this frigging planet that I've tried so far, which has been a lot of them over the years, they all suck in comparison to anything built in that Apple has. Okay, now they are generally better than what comes built into the PCs, but they still suck compared to the Mac. So, a lot to be said there. Even Logitech has a 4K camera or webcam that costs near $200, at least before inflation last hit. I haven't repriced it since. It's probably well over that now. And that thing at 4K, from my research, has shown that that is not a great camera for all that money. You would be better off just buying a Microsoft camera for $50 friggin' at Best Buy to get not much different in quality. It's not the greatest camera, okay? But so regular webcams suck. They suck worse on PCs compared to Macs. So yeah, I would challenge people that are Mac purebreds that may be watching this video, go play on a bunch of PCs for a while. Ones with 720, ones with 1080, and even find the most expensive PC laptop you can that has a 1080p camera, and then compare that to your Mac, and you'll change your tune. Okay, you'll be like, man, these cameras are actually pretty good after all. Yeah, okay, what am I complaining about? But I find that for me, I don't do FaceTime, I don't do face chat or any of that stuff. You know, and if I did do it, I would be kind of using one of my PCs, because I don't care if, you know, somebody sees a better quality picture or not. It's not like I'm trying to do anything important. If I was, I'd use continuity camera, of course. But otherwise, I use the continuity feature for doing just this. Shooting a very convenient video for you guys, sitting in front of my computer. If I want to grab something like this little guy, is friggin' hilarious. We found this for, I think it was about, I can't even remember what we paid for it. It wasn't exactly cheap for being Value Village, but I had to have him. It's a left-handed guitar player guy, and he makes some interesting noises. You know, he farts, he burps, and well, when he gets to it, at least. I mean, I can't get the batteries out of him. There he goes. He's farting. So, but you know, I want to show you that. It's like, that's a quality picture. I probably wouldn't want to show you that through a PC cam because it's just not going to show up very well. But here it shows up actually pretty good. You know, so it's like, yeah, I like him. He's cute. The stupidest stuff I buy, I don't know, but it's a lefty guy. I'm a left-handed player primarily, and yeah, he's cool rockin' dude. But that's my point, right? If you need that kind of quality, and maybe your Mac isn't quite doing that kind of quality for you, which maybe it doesn't. I haven't had a MacBook in front of me with a 1080p camera in it to do a comparison with against continuity camera, okay? But I have compared them with the 720s against PCs and against 1080p cams. And yeah, our 720p and 1080p cameras that come in our laptops and iMacs are far superior to everything else out there. So I don't know, again, why people whine. But what I use this thing for is just this, shooting videos, okay? I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I got a really nice picture that is virtually noise-free, and I can actually see that quality in front of my face on a big screen. Unlike my DSLR camera, I have to set up a lot of extra lighting for it, because it's got even for the shorter lens that's on it, it's still like, you know, 4 inches deep. It's got to bring light in, and a lot of it, to really boost the picture quality. And then I may have to use manual focus mode, you know, which is fine. It's just, you know, it's tricky too, because you got this puny little tiny screen on your DSLR, and you're like, it looks really good there, but then when you get the footage out to your computer, you're like, oh, it's got too much. I got to redo this again. I have a hard enough time as it is, guys and girls, doing a video for you guys. I've been at this one since 7 o'clock this morning. It's almost 11:30. A lot of my videos that I do take me literally hours and hours in a day, and I still might not get them done. I was working on 2 of them in the last few days. They're still not done. I stressed my body out too far to the end, and I'm like, I've had enough. I'm walking away. See, I don't do scripts. I don't do teleprompters. I don't have the space for the stuff. I don't want to do that sort of thing. I want to give it to you straight out. And when I'm happy with my video and I've gotten all the information out that I need to get out, then I'm good to go to Final Cut and just, you know, do my thing and export it, compress it, up to YouTube it goes, right? Some videos, a lot of them, take me a long time. But, you know, this one here, it's kind of getting the same points across, and I got to check my timer. Okay, I'm not quite 15 minutes. So, you know, I really like the continuity camera. I think it's a fantastic accessory to the Mac. It's going to do a far better job, obviously, than any webcam, because, you know, even over our built-in stuff in the Macs, they are great, but this is greater because it's higher megapixel rate. I get to choose whatever microphone I want, which is great too, which I could do either way, all right? But you know, I think that this is a really nice system. I just prefer it tethered so that it's absolutely flawless. And I don't use wireless internet on my Mac Mini. I'm tethered to an Ethernet cable to my gigabit hub so that I can get full out speeds. Because Wi-Fi is still, even though we got the newest Wi-Fi stuff here, it's still not as fast as Ethernet. It's close, but it's not quite. And I want that more stable, secure connection. Unfortunately, continuity camera for wireless use only works off your Wi-Fi internet connection. And if things go buggy, you're going to be like, you know what I mean? So being tethered to your Mac is the best way to use it. You could still get, you know, a little bit of that stall out stuff if you're doing over the internet regardless, if your computer's on Wi-Fi. Even not on Wi-Fi, if something happens, something could go. But I prefer to use this setup just plain for cutting some videos. And you know, this way if I want to, I can take my thing, I can loosen off the thing, and I can say, okay, well, we're going to take a look over here for a minute, guys, girls, and we're going to talk about this mixing board and this and that. There's my HP laptop. It also has a 720p camera. And then I can just unloosen it. I can go over here. I can change angles, and I don't even have to move this thing off the table, right? And the clarity of the picture, even at a more distant range, I'm still closer to the camera, so the focus, the perfection focus, is still keyed in on me more than anything else, right? And for being the way that this is, my DSLR on autofocus puts more noise in the picture, more of an out of focus thing at the distance, even in this small room, okay? Because that's the nature of autofocus. It focuses in on the key closest thing for the best picture. But like I said, you could manually do it, but it is very tedious, and it's taken me tons of tries to get that dialed in just right so that I have to do either little or no noise removal. Usually I get lucky and I don't have to remove any picture noise. But then again, we're working with different microphones that I have accessible to me. This, I'm using a Shure Studio mic that's actually about 3 feet away from me. And I use it as a room mic, which works for a lot of different types of stuff I do in here to give the sound that it does. And I can use it with this, which I am. So I don't even have to use the microphones built into the phone, because I personally think that they are very good. They just can't handle, you know, loud, high decibels if I'm going to do a music video in here. So that's why I switched the mic over to using my studio mic, or I'll use the my USB interface, and I'll use the mics on it. I have so many options to me, you know. But I do think that this is a very good idea that Apple did. I really wish they would have given us access to 4K though, because our cameras that qualify, the majority of them are all 4K capable, right? They all have 4K in them, and 4K is a much better picture. But Apple either didn't think of that at the time, or maybe they're saving that for another future update. Who knows? But the 1080p, even on my iPhone 12 mini, the high megapixel cameras on the back are freaking fantastic. For 1080p, it's sweet, and I don't need to have as much light at this camera to get a really great picture as I do with the DSLR. So there's an advantage here. There's some wins, but I can't always use this continuity camera setup in here. Sometimes I actually have to use the DSLR. So at least I have more options to me now. You know, so, but think about that, you know, and think about it that if you think your cameras are really bad in your Mac, that you are currently running 720 or 1080p's, take a look at some PCs out there, okay, because they suck really, really bad, okay? Like, I'm going to give you, do we have time for this? Sure, why not? The camera in my HP laptop, because my gamer is not turned on, but if we go to camera settings here, video settings. So we get 720p, 16:9, 30 frames per second. I can drop that down to 144. But that's the top level of 720, okay? The lens in this thing is only 0.9 megapixels at 720p. That is freaking pathetic in a $750 basically brand new laptop. It's 1 year and 11 days old, okay? That's pathetic. My gamer system has been on the market for about a year, going on 2, right? I haven't even had it for a year yet. It's 720p. And maybe we may have time to check this, I don't know. But I really want to get you this information so you really know what's going on here, okay? So sorry the video's longer. But with that being said, let me just get this set up quick for you. And the camera in this one, and this is a $2,000 computer, okay? Oh, would you look at that? 0.9 megapixel, 720p. That's what we're getting. That is pathetic. And the best it does is 720p, 30 frames per second. So I'm going to see about doing a video where we are going to compare continuity camera to the gamer laptop, to the HP, and I'm going to throw even my old 2009 iMac under the bus, okay? We're going to put them all in on a video with separate clips, and you'll know which clip is which because I'll tell you what I'm shooting it on. And then you can be the judge yourself. Now, I don't have anything here for a newer Mac that actually has a built-in webcam, so you're going to have to take it that way, okay? But this just is going to show and prove how pathetic, even in expensive PC laptops, these cameras are, and yet Mac people are still out there whining like little children about the 720 and 1080p, especially the new 1080p stuff from Apple. They're whining about it, going, nah, 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 nah. You know, and it's like, you have no freaking idea what you're saying. But anyways, that's a kind of a wrap for me on this one. I think we've done enough damage after 22 minutes and 10 seconds here. So I'll leave you with that. Do try out Continuity Camera. It is fantastic. I love it. If you want to shoot videos via QuickTime, make sure that you click on the tab beside the record button, select maximum. That is going to give you 1080p resolution because high is only 720p, which is where some people might be going wrong using Continuity Camera the wrong way with QuickTime, because not every Mac person is actually that fluent in doing settings by QuickTime and other programs either. So that could be some of what may be disturbing some people. I have no idea. But even on my built-in webcams that I've always had on iMacs and laptops, I've always gone to the maximum level because otherwise it's much lower quality. Anyways, that's it. That's all. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, party on.